frequently. So the payroll receives the information from the government, the unions, and insurance companies. So saka pa time and attendance tracking by validating the time and attendance data. So information on time and attendance comes in various forms depending on the employee's pay scheme. So most employees are paid either on an hourly basis or fixed salary ba. So many companies use a time card, yun nga, DTR, to record their arrival and departure time. So manufacturing companies may use job time tickets or kahit job order din siguro, no, to record not only time present but also time dedicated to each job. And then next we have the managed leave and related payroll data, this one. So managed leave and payroll related data is you have to prepare the payroll by first the payroll transaction file is sorted by employee number down. So by employee number, and then second is by the sorted time. So data file is used to prepare employee checks. And then next is all payroll deductions are summed and the total is subtracted from gross pay to obtain the net pay. So since net pay yung ibibigay mo per employee. And then once net pay is obtained, the year-to-date fields for gross pay, the deductions, and net pay in the payroll master file are updated. And finally, the payroll register and employee paychecks are printed. So next we have the payroll processing. So this includes the dispersing of the payroll. So most employees are paid by check, by direct deposit, like i-deposit na namin sa bangko mo, ganun. Or in some industries such as construction, cash payments may still be made but does not provide good documentation. Pag ganun. And then next is we have to calculate employer paid benefits and taxes. So the employer pays some payroll taxes and employee benefits directly. So of course, the employer na mag-handle nun. Then lastly, we have the compliance and regulatory filing and reporting. Ay, may pala ako na-mention. Including sa, compliance and regulatory filing and reporting. So, these includes the paying the payroll tax liabilities and other voluntary deductions by each employee. Filing, yeah. So, second to the last cycle, ayaw. We have the production or conversion cycle. So, this involves the production of entities' products for sale, where materials, labor, and overhead are converted to finished goods. Its primary objective is the proper valuation of inventories and cost of goods sold. So the departments involved now is first is the production department where physical custody of materials and labor documents is usually held and the one authorized to make normal production runs. So sila yung authorized to make normal production runs. So pero in special cases daw, like if merong special order, the authorization must come from the board of directors or its authorized representative. Then next we have cost accounting. So cost accounting is where transactions are recorded and daily summaries are prepared and forwarded to the general accounting. Cost accounting then is like for the valuation then of the finished goods based on the processes that the entity followed. And then we have the general accounting where transactions are recorded and posted in the general journal and the general ledger. So since different ang production and conversion cycle, I will explain to you how it works first. Why am I going to explain to you how it works first? It is because the production cycle works like the main cycle, no? Main or general cycle of the whole entity that involves all the processes or all the cycles. So, kasi nga, siya yung business activities, like, and information processing activities. So, para sa kanya talaga siya umiikot. Like, information flows to and from the production cycle related to the other cycles. So, yun nga. As you can see sa slide, no? Ano? Wait lang. As you can see sa slide, we have here the revenue cycle. We even have the general ledger and reporting system. We have the human resource management or the payroll cycle, and we have the expenditure or disbursement cycle. So, production cycle works with the management siya mismo, like the main one. Like, sa kanya umiikot. So, anong uses ng other cycles sa kanya? So, di ba nga, as I said, like, information flows to and from the production cycle. So what are these information? So first, we have the revenue cycle. The revenue cycle that provides information on customer orders and sales forecasts for use in planning production and inventory levels. And then from the production cycle, so yun nga, so revenue sales forecast, and from the production cycle, it receives information about finished goods for sale. And then next we have the expenditure cycle. So ang expenditure cycle provides information on customer orders and sales forecasts for expenditure cycle receives information about raw materials needed um, for from the production cycle. Then the expenditure cycle provides information about raw materials, acquisition, and overhead costs. Ay, parang nabaliktad. So si production cycle daw, or ano ko siguro, na-interchange ko siguro, no? So si production cycle daw, yung mag-inform kay expenditure cycle, parang hindi naman inform, parang, yun nga, parang, ito yung mga materials na needed ko. Or sa mga departments involved siguro sa expenditure cycle, no? And then si expenditure and disbursement cycle will inform na about the raw materials na kailangan. Nahilo na ako din. Yeah. So yun nga, the expenditure cycle provides information about, like, parang, di ba, like, purchase requisition. So, si expenditure cycle kagad, like, parang mag-inform na, okay, so, ito yung parang merong available na raw materials and overhead costs na pwede nating ma-incur with this, with the production needs, with your production needs. Ganun. Okay, next we have the human resources management or payroll cycle. So the human resources or payroll cycle daw receives information from production about the labor needs. So si production cycle, like, okay, ito yung mga labor yung kailangan ko. And then si human resource naman, si HR, will provide information about labor costs and availability. So parang sabihin niya na parang, okay, like, I have 5 people and then you're gonna have to pay them this rate per hour. Ganun. And then lastly, we have the GLARS, or the General Ledger and Reporting System, which receives information from production about cost of goods manufactured. So kung magkano talaga lahat based sa production cycle. So what is it and why? So what is it and why it involves all the cycles? So the production cycle now has four ano ba, parang basic processes or processes involved in the cycle. That's why it involves all of the other cycles. So first is we have the product design. So product design is the objective. Its objective is to design a product that strikes the optimal balance of meeting the customer requirements for quality, for durability, and functionality. And then yun din for minimizing the production costs. So while designing, we always have to think about the least possible cost. And then next we have the planning and scheduling. So planning and scheduling its objective is of course to plan and to schedule activity and to develop a production plan that is efficient enough to meet existing orders and anticipated the shorter term demand while minimizing inventories of both raw materials and finished goods. Then we have the production operations, which is or the actual manufacture of products. So this is the manner in which the activity is accomplished and varies across companies. So yun nga kanina, parang kung manufacturing ba, service ba, healthcare ba, like that. And then every firm needs to collect data about the following for the product operations. Of course, the raw materials used, the labor hours expended, machine operations formed, and other manufacturing overhead costs incurred. And then lastly, we have the cost accounting. So meron daw three principal objectives of cost accounting, which is to provide information for planning, controlling, and evaluating the performance of production operations. That is the first one. Second is to provide accurate cost data about products for use in pricing and product mix decisions. And then lastly is to collect and process the information used to calculate